Okay, so what kind of situation do we currently have on AUD CAD? Let's make a full breakdown. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, it is pretty clear that the market has created a bearish pattern. In fact, the market has created this impulse, correction, lower low, and higher high. And when you see a market do something like this, it means that the market has created a W formation, and this leg to the upside is overextended. Therefore, you expect a retracement to this previous resistance, which is now turned support at this level to basically go and complete the pattern at the previous resistance, now turned support. So from here, we definitely expect the market to give us a move to the downside to go and test this structure level here, which is exactly the previous resistance, now turned support, and also a historical structure level for this market, since it was acting as support here, support here, support here, preceding all these big moves to the upside. So not only it is the completion zone of this monthly W formation, so the neckline of the formation, but it is also a historical structure level for this market, and we definitely expect the market to make a retracement back to this level. Specifically, if we want informations on this retracement, what do we have to do? We have to take our Fibonacci on the impulse, so from the low to the high of the impulse. And we can see that we have a 0.382 Fibonacci retracement, which is lining up perfectly with this structure, creating a confluence of support at this level that we expect the market to go and test before the continuation to the upside. Going down on the weekly time frame, what we can see. Now on the weekly, we can clearly see that the market is quite overextended to the upside, and we definitely expected this retracement. If you remember from our previous analysis, specifically, what did we expect this retracement? We expected this retracement and this move to the downside because on the daily time frame, we had this head and shoulders, and from here, we wanted to see the market give us this move to the downside. In fact, I will link in description the previous analysis in which I said all the reasons for which from here we wanted to see this move to the downside. And in fact, with students, we capitalized on this move to the downside for a very good 1 to 3 risk to reward. So beautiful trade to the downside that we just closed for a 1 to 3 risk to reward. And why did we close the trade exactly here? Because we have here the previous weekly resistance, which is now turned support, which is definitely a level from which we could see a retracement. So we want to exit our trade to maximize our returns for a nice 1 to 3 risk to reward. And I will link this previous analysis in description, and we did capitalize on this move with students. And now the market has created a lower low. And as we have seen on the weekly, we are testing a support area. So we definitely expect a retracement from this zone. And this structure that we have here is exactly this previous support, which is now term resistance. So on the daily, we have the possibility to go to test this area before the continuation to the downside to go and complete the monthly W formation. That is why we want to see more continuation to the downside. And the reason for which we want to see a retracement is because on the weekly, we have support at this area. And how we will be approaching this situation, a situation in which on the daily, we want to see a retracement because on the weekly, we have support. However, we have a lower target in mind for the monthly. I will now show you exactly how we will be approaching this situation, but first, let's go and give a quick check at what we have from an AUD and a CAD perspective if we check the COT data, so the commitment of traders, which is what the biggest banks and institutions are currently doing on the AUD and on the CAD. Now, starting from the AUD, we can clearly see that institutions shifted their positioning from having a positive net positioning with more longs than shorts. In fact, they had 45K longs and 41K shorts, all the way down to having a negative net positioning with more shorts than longs, with 46K shorts and 45K longs. So institutions are shifting their positioning on the AUD from positive to negative. And if we go and see what we have from a CAD perspective, we can see that institutions have decreased the net positions, however, without adding shorts, simply closing the longs. So it means that they're not really interested in shorts on the CAD, at least at the moment. So we can definitely expect more continuation to the downside. So how we will be approaching this situation if the market will retrace back inside of this area? We will have this previous support, now term resistance on the daily. We will also have the confluence of the Fibonacci taken from the high to the low of this impulse, possibly at 0.32 or 50% confluence. And inside of this area, since we have our downside target from the monthly time frame, inside of this area with students on the 4-hour time frame, because always remember, monthly, weekly, and daily are the best time frames when it comes to the direction of the market, but the best time frame for entry is the 4 hours. So inside of this area with students, we will be monitoring price action on the 4-hour time frame, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for another trade to the downside for more capital, for another capitalizing opportunity on this pair and the completion of this impulse correction, impulse pattern to the downside, and the market to go closer to our monthly target. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you. And I will see you in the next video.